Since the Thanksgiving holiday is soon approaching, I thought today we would look at 3 fine motor activities where we make turkeys out of Play-Doh. I love using Play-Doh. With the kiddos that I work with, 2 to 3 to 4 years old, Play-Doh is one of my favorite ways to work on hand strengthening, to work on dexterity, to work on gradation. So today I'm going to show you 3 different activities to target some of these skills. So all 3 activities are going to start off with the same turkey base. We're going to need 2 different colors of Play-Doh, either some googly eyes or pom-poms with a little bit of black in the middle, and a small piece of yellow paper cut into a triangle for the beak, or if you have some leftover candy corn candies, you could use that for the beak as well. So the first thing we're going to do, take the Play-Doh and roll it into balls. A bigger one for the body, a smaller one for the head. Just in rolling the Play-Dohs, you're helping a child work on using their 2 hands together and coordinating, or if they're watching you, imitating the actions needed to make a ball. While they're rolling it, they have to grade the amount of force so they're not smushing too hard, but keeping it nice and gentle to roll. So rolling a ball is good practice in itself, and making it into a head of a turkey is even cuter. So we'll stick on the head like so. And then we're going to push in the eyes and the beak. And there is our turkey base. Depending on the child's fine motor abilities at this time, we have 3 different ways to create the feathers of the turkey. The first one is going to be the easiest, and we're going to use popsicle sticks. What the child is going to do, pick up the stick, push it into the turkey. As you can see, you could use your whole fist to pick them up and push them in. It doesn't require as much dexterity with the fine motor skills, but still you're getting a little bit of, you're getting some strength as they're grasping onto it and then pushing into the Play-Doh. All right, there is the first turkey activity. One way to modify this activity, let's say if you were working on finger isolation, might be to poke the holes into the turkey before inserting the popsicle sticks. So we could poke 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then have the child insert the feathers, popsicle sticks. Okay, so that was number 1. It's the easiest one, doesn't even require really a pincer grasp, though they could be working towards that. They could pick it up with their whole hand, push them in. If I was doing this in a teletherapy session, I might have the parent doing the same activity, so the parent and the child doing the activity, and me kind of showing them and guiding them on the screen. If you're working with an older child, of course, they could watch the screen and try and copy what you're doing from the screen. All right, the second activity. Here's our same turkey base. We've made 2 balls with the Play-Doh, 1 larger for the body, 1 smaller for the head. We've put in googly eyes and a beak, and now we're ready for some feathers. In this second and a little more advanced Play-Doh turkey, we're going to be using pipe cleaners for the feathers. So we're going to have the child take the pipe cleaners, and we're going to work on twisting them at the bottom. So they're going to need to stabilize with one hand, really pinch and twist at the bottom to make a feather shape. We're going to make 5 of them. So this takes a lot more strength and also requires that pincer grasp and rotation in order to make the feather. So much more complex than the first activity. Having them pinch, twist, twist. Getting more work on using their hands together as a stabilizer hand, along with the hand that's doing the action. Okay, so once we have the feathers, you could have them use their index finger to poke where the feathers are going to go, or just have them pick them up and push them in. So unlike the last activity, they really have to use their pincer grasp to pick up the feathers and a little bit more strength to hold onto the feathers while they push them in. All right, there's turkey number 2. Since you're using pipe cleaners, one way to make this activity a little bit more challenging would be, before you twist the pipe cleaners into feathers, you could use beads or Fruit Loops to bead on first, so you could have some more color in the feathers, and then twist the feathers. Beading is a pretty complex skill that requires those 2 hands to work smoothly together. Using a tiny little bead is going to work on that dexterity and control. There's one way to make this activity even more challenging and colorful. Okay, so for our third activity, we're starting again with the same turkey base. And this time, we're going to use 5 spaghetti noodles. I just broke them in half. And we're going to use some Fruit Loops. If your child is no longer putting toys in their mouth, you could use beads, but just to be safe, I'm using Fruit Loops today. So we're gonna have either the child or the adult, depending on how hard this is for them, place the 5 spaghetti pieces. Those are gonna be kind of the spine of the feather. And for this one, the kiddo is going to take the Fruit Loops and place them on the spaghetti to make colorful feathers. So this activity, as you can probably notice, requires even more dexterity in their hands, control. First, the kid is picking up the Fruit Loop with a pincer grasp. They're using their visual motor system to line it up, releasing, while at the same time they really have to grade their motor movements. If the kiddo is having difficulty grading movements and likes to do everything kind of hard, pushing everything in, these noodles are going to break very easily. So it really requires the child, kind of forces them to be super careful and controlled with their movements. If the noodles are too hard for the kiddo that you're working with, you can go back to pipe cleaners and just stick pipe cleaners straight up, or some sort of stick or straw would work also. You might encourage them to hold on to the turkey so it doesn't move around. If you're working on crossing midline, let's see, you could have them cross over to get the Fruit Loop and then put it on. If you wanted to make this activity even more challenging, you could start with the Fruit Loop in the palm of their hand, bring it up to their fingertips before placing it on. If the kiddo's having a hard time and just kind of reaching in with their whole hands, you might want to just give them one at a time to pick up. Likely, if you're doing this activity, pincer grasp is already something that they are able to do successfully. And there you go. There's the third turkey activity. So there you have it. There's 3 fine motor activities with different levels of difficulty for the Thanksgiving season. If these are the types of activities that you're interested in, either as a therapist doing telehealth or as a parent who has a kiddo at home, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, make sure you hit the notification button so that you're alerted when the next video comes out. I hope you enjoyed this content. Thanks for listening. For the Thanksgiving season.